days when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
why do you panic?
The way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty
Watch Johnny's bite.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday, the 19th of September 2025. And Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. It's always a pleasure to connect and interface with you, and always to also share a very kind time with you every single morning, serving you breakfast. Let me begin by saying a very big thank you to Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit. And Sonar Fashions has now gone very international, so you can always get something special for you and yours and those near and dear to you by calling 0246 590 162. That's 0246 590 162. Also, a big shout to the Viva Health Foundation, led by Dr. Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Carl Asiwome Nuchuga and Major Randini Teria and the rest of the team. You're doing a great work. Yesterday, the reviews we had about the free surgeries you are presently conducting in the Volta region in Tegbi. You have now moved to parts of Wue and many other places. Look, God bless you for doing this for Ghanaians who ordinarily and naturally cannot afford this. Hernia, goiter, and all those other things. Thank you so much indeed, and we appreciate your work. We don't joke with it at all. Today, I want to celebrate Aurora Topper. She is with the Ebri Girls Old Girls Association, and she's leading the charge to get a new basketball court. She led this charge. She's been determined about it. It took her about 10 years of her life to put money together. Now, hopefully, she'll get some support to complete it. So, Aurora, we celebrate you this morning. We celebrate you deeply indeed. Let's begin the conversation by talking about let the retirees go and let the young grow. I indicated to you not so long ago that this government promised that the retirees will go so that the young will grow, and that there will be no space for post-retirement contracts. We heard that in the past, but the direct opposite was done, and you had key government officials defending the indefensible. There is a list that I have prepared of persons who are due for retirement, including vice chancellors, including some persons in very well-known places who are due for retirement who do not want to go. And I say, as a country, we cannot continue to talk about unemployment numbers and still condone these things, because the Constitution of the Republic is clear as per the reasons or the conditions under which post-retirement contracts can be given. And the reason number one is that you are given a post-retirement contract if within the organization or within the nation, nobody is qualified to do what you currently do. But you know what they do? They wait until they are about 58 or 59. There is a training program or a conference or an exchange program somewhere elsewhere that somebody has to attend to come back and impact the organization and the nation as a whole. And you find 59-year-olds who are just 3-4 months to their retirement, pushing and bullying their way to go for these conferences. And then when they come back, they come and tell you that there's nobody within the organization who went to that conference who has that body of knowledge, so they must be allowed to stay so that they can impact people. That's sheer wickedness. Now, even with the post-retirement contract, when some of them get those contracts, they are supposed to pull people under their wings and train them, impart knowledge, pass on the knowledge to them. They don't do that. I would not have any problem if you are a retiree and you're a consultant, or you're a retiree and you're a board chairman. I don't have a problem. But I don't want a retiree going to work every day and going to sleep. It doesn't bring productivity. And we saw it in many of the state-owned enterprises. We were just taking state money, people's taxes, borrowing money, and pushing them into those organizations, and yet the productivity was not happening. We were employing more people, and we were not making profits, but we were declaring losses. Point number 3 that they use, or excuse that they use, is that they have a project ongoing. They have not finished the project, so when they finish that project, then they will go. It is sheer wickedness. It is sheer wickedness. I know people in this country who retired honorably on the very day that they turned 60, and they walked out majestically. They still have their respect intact, and people are still clamoring for them to come and become consultants in those same organizations and in many other places. So why can't we have you watching me, taking your bath and dressing up, going to work, knowing that you are 60 and beyond? And why is the system that told us that we will not grant people post-retirement contracts and encouraging that to happen? It must not be encouraged. No. We must not encourage it. By all means, we must not encourage it. We must not tell people that we will not give people post-retirement contracts and then come back to start doing U-turn and start. No. Let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Let your yes be yes and let your no be no. So let the retirees go and let the young grow. I have tried so much to restrain myself from publishing the photos of these people, because some of them are actually lobbying. They are still in the offices lobbying. I've asked a simple question, that if you are a retiree and you do not have the warrant from the presidency, or you don't have authorization, a letter authorizing your post-retirement contract, and you go ahead signing documents and approving contracts and what have you, are you doing so legally? And if you are put before the court, will you be found wanting, or will you be okay? Or will you be using the court processes to be frustrating people? Think about it, though, because on Sunday you will go to church. Today, Friday, you will go to the mosque. If you're a traditionalist, you will pour libation. And yet in your heart, there is a load of wickedness. You see your nephews and nieces and your grandchildren walking around with application letters in the hot sun looking for jobs, and you are at the top, choking the top, and are not allowing people to go up. We fought Dr. Benedict Bonaventure Legibam tooth and claw in this country. The presidency ordered, chief of staff ordered, ICO ordered, regional minister ordered. He was adamant he didn't want to go anywhere. You know the story. How do we make progress as a country if this is all we intend to do? And what hurts me is that the people above 60, the people above 70, they tell us of the good old days. They tell us how when they were in school, the UACs and the what have yous used to chase them with employment opportunities because they were looking for people who had attended universities or pursued degrees. They tell us about the good old days of free bus rides. They tell us about the good old days of allowances being given to them for going to school. They tell us about breakfast, lunch, supper, and snacks. They tell us about you can go to the cafeteria and, for example, get free coffee. They tell us about all those things. What is the state of our education today, and what is the state of even employment? What is our unemployment rate? And then somebody will come and call and tell us that, we created 1.8 million jobs. You created 1.8 million jobs, and yet your unemployment percentage is what? What did you inherit, and what did you leave? And if you created all those jobs, why are there still huge numbers of unemployed people roaming around looking for jobs? You should be bowing down your head in shame for supporting such nonsense. You should be bowing down your head in shame for supporting such rubbish. Forgive my Latin, I beg you. We, the young people, are sometimes the problem. Now, let me talk about unpaid allowances, rent allowances of the members of our security services. They work within the regimented space, so they can't talk about them. But imagine that you move somebody from Accra to Atebubu. The person is supposed to be at a station and to find accommodation and to deliver per the specification of the employment that you have given the person. Yet the person's salary has not come because it will come at a certain time. And even when the salary comes, he has to pay school fees. He has other responsibilities and obligations, so he cannot use his salary as his rent. And as part of the conditions of his service, you have promised him that you, the state, including you and I, we will give them rent allowance. And sometimes we leave it for a full year. It's a recurring thing, which should never happen. Because those are the very top of these security services. They have their bungalows. They have their residences. And they are permanent. Nobody moves them around. Most of the people at the top. So why should the people at the bottom, who actually do the legwork, be at the mercy of such a situation? And then speaking of there's some disappointed recruits. And let me just put out the difference. You are enlisted as an officer, a commissioned officer. You are enlisted, commissioned. And then you are recruited as an other rank. So let's get the difference clear. And speaking of which, Major Edmund Lai, New Obama Lai, congratulations to you, you got promoted. Congratulations. And all those who got promoted, congratulations to you. Now, these fine ladies and gentlemen of Ghanaian origin say that they claim that in 2021, they were given letters after they had been recruited or have undergone training and all the processes with the assurance that they will be put in the Ghana Armed Forces. In 2021. So they have waited from 2021 to 2022, through 2023, through 2024, through 2025, and they have now found their voices and their endurance spirit to be walking briskly around in their training or fatigue attire to be demanding for employment. Of course, they deserve to be employed. Why not? But you see, we are going to employ them into a specialized area like a security. More so, the Ghana Armed Forces that is supposed to protect all of us from external aggression. And as I always say, security work is not all about machoism or brawn. It's also about brain power, intellect, and acumen. So these people are trained. They possibly know how to handle weapons. And they are on the streets. But they are also taught to be smart and intelligent. So the question is, did they apply that smartness and intelligence throughout the period that they were at home with the assurance that they have been given letters and that they are considered employed? Now, before they got the letters, the question, did they pause to ask whether they had financial clearance from the Ministry of Finance before being given those letters? Or were those letters just issued to them to hoodwink them, possibly, to believe that they had been employed, so they should go queue and vote? I'm saying the security entity is supposed to have, you're supposed to have intelligence to be there. So if they didn't ask those questions, you must then ask whether or not they are qualified to be in there. Question number 2 that you ask. The security institutions have a limit in terms of the age requirement. It is a prerequisite. And I remember when I started talking about people being overaged, I showed a photo of an overaged soldier. For my day, they say, we will see you, but I'm still waiting for the suit, by the way. We don't just talk by heart here. We have the facts, we have the figures. We have the photos, we have the videos. I asked the question in the past when they mentioned that, oh, we have recruited people, but there are people on the waiting list or the standby list. I asked the question that if the age limit at the time of entry is supposed to be, say, 25 years, the cutoff age is 25 years, and you keep me on the standby list for 4 years, by the time I am due to enter, I will no longer be 25, I'll be 29. Now, my standard operation procedure at age 25 may not be the same as age 29. So these people who waited since 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, before now finding their voices and their legs to start walking around and demanding for employment, which they deserve anyway, did they ask these questions? Did they tick the boxes? Or were they politically, giving those letters? Was it per protocol? Or were they properly giving those letters? And did they ask for the financial clearance? You see, this is how to be simply analytical. You have to think. It doesn't take too much. You just think. And I know, me, my father served as a security person. I've been with them. I know that when you talk about their issues like this, they don't like. They are like other professionals. They don't like. But you see, the service that they provide is to us. So if there's something that is wrong, we have to say it. Because we have kept quiet about certain institutions in this country for so long, they think that they are demigods on this earth. They are not. We have to speak to them and we have to tell them. And you wrap it up, sisters. Let's wrap up this way. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Dr. Emmanuel Kofi Boah, he is on the water bodies. He's fighting GALAMSEY. And that is environmental terrorism. Environmental terrorism. He's fighting it. And I am happy that he's sticking his neck out, damn the consequences. That he is on the ground with the people himself through his 9 months. Please, play his video for me quickly. Let's have the minister's video quickly. And he says something that I so like. That, look, at the end of the day, there's no law that guarantees or that says that you should be on the water bodies mining. Sisters, play the minister's video for me, please. And so, if we find you, we shall deal with you. Please play the video. And look, yesterday I was so happy when I heard him say these things. Unfortunately, the audio situation is being quite a problem for us. But kudos to him and his team, and I hope it will not be a 9-day wonder. And I hope that it will be an inter-ministerial conversation and work. And I hope that as they work to the President of the Republic of Ghana on our behalf as citizens, see all these soldiers risking their lives.
We are going to be here. There is no law in Ghana that allows anybody along the Ankobra and major rivers is that we are coming after you. And we are not coming on a day visit and leaving. We are going to be here. There is no law in Ghana that allows anybody to mine or discharge water in any of the water bodies. So anybody that is seen engaged in this activity is a fair target. And we are warning you, stop it. Because the damage that this is causing our country cannot be paid.
He vowed that the government will soon take complete charge to return our water bodies to their natural color, while condemning the actions of illegal miners, which he describes as a war on the country.
If this is not war, then I don't see anything. We need to mobilize all the forces we have We need to put all the resources we have to deal with this crisis of our time. And it's very, very clear. The president's heart is in the right place when he directed that we need to deploy permanently the military and the security forces along our river bodies and the forest reserve. And that is what we are going to work with the Ministry of Finance and key sectors to deal with this issue.
Now, the final part of this sermon is to say a big congratulations to the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Agboja of the Adaklu constituency, and also to Alassane Suhini of the Tamale North constituency, and the contractors on that road at Pokwase towards Nsawam, Maripoma Construction Limited. I drove around this dawn before coming to work, and I can tell you on good authority that what I experienced about some month or so ago is not the situation again. And that's all we are looking for, that things will work ever. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691